All right, so today we are going to discuss looking at scatter plots and what these scatter plots actually tell us. So I've already plotted the information from our table, and the information that they're talking about is alligators, different alligators, their length, and the weight of those specific alligators. So in your notes, you should have labeled your x-axis as your length, and I labeled mine by 10, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on. And then you should have labeled your y-axis as your weight in pounds. I chose to use 6 as my interval, so 6 and then 12 and then 18, because 5 just wasn't enough to get up to the highest weight of just above 50 without going one above. So I chose to go ahead and use 6. And then I plotted each alligator. So alligator A was 12 inches and 0.15 pounds, so less than a quarter of a pound. That's why I have this tiny little dot here at the beginning. So I went ahead and I plotted all of our different alligators. So each one of these green points on my graph is a different alligator. So with this graph, this scatter plot, the question comes into play of, does this scatter plot show a relationship between the length and the weight of the alligator? You can see that as the alligator gets longer, the weight of the alligator is increasing. When you can make a general statement about what is happening in the data, there is an association that is occurring. So for letter B, it asks, is there an association exist between the length and the weight of the alligator? And yes, there is an association that exists. In fact, there is a positive association that exists between the length of the alligator and the weight of the alligator. Letter C then asks you to predict the weight of an alligator that is 58 inches long. So at that point, you would need to go down to the x-axis and find where 58 inches approximately would be about right here. And you're going to fall up. So 58 inches is going to fall somewhere in here. So that tells me that you could predict the weight of an alligator that is 58 inches long would be anywhere between maybe 30 to 36 pounds. Now, if this was a multiple choice test, it'd be pretty easy to spot the correct answer. All right, we're going to keep moving on. Number 7 actually gives you a scatter plot of the largemouth bass. And the first question asks if there is an association between the length and the weight of the largemouth bass. Yes, I can see that there is a positive linear association between the length and the width. So when you're drawing a trend line, which is what this arrow is that I drew through my points, you're looking to put at least half or about half of the points below and half of the points above your trend line. So as the largemouth bass increases in length, the weight increases as well. Next thing it asks you to do is to predict the weight if it was 19 inches long. So you're going to follow it up, and it looks like it would fall right in here, which would be 4.5 pounds.